The ruling family in North Korea is based on a lie, and here's why. So let me rewind a little bit, going back all the way to World War II. Originally, Korea actually just used to be one country. There was no North Korea, there was no South Korea, it was just Korea. Japan was a country that had global ambitions. They wanted to take over the world, and they started colonizing many countries in Asia and Southeast Asia. And so during this time, Korea was colonized by the Japanese, and they were under Japanese occupation. And so, as we all know, Japan attacked Pearl Harbor, and this ends up, leading to the nuclear weapons that America dropped on Nagasaki and Hiroshima. After that takes place, Japan surrenders, and they end up leaving all of their colonies that they had. So Japan leaves Korea, and now Korea is a free country on their own. But there's only one thing that happens, or that happens next, is that the country is divided into two. The country is divided into North Korea and South Korea. Why was it divided into North and South Korea? Because the USSR and the US were, at their Cold War times, and they didn't want the, either ideology to spread. And so the idea was that they're going to allow the people to have a vote and then decide what their fate was going to be in terms of what ideology they were going to come together as one under. And so now there's a new country called North Korea and a new country called South Korea. But in the North Korea, they're looking for a new leader. They're like, okay, so who is this new person that's going to take over our country? So there's a few candidates. One of the candidates, his name is Kim Il-sung. So Kim Il-sung was a man that was fighting against Japanese occupation. He was a Korean nationalist. He's like, yeah, we're all for the Korean people. I think he was involved in guerrilla warfare. And yeah, he was basically a popular figure in the North, and many people knew who he was. So the North was ruled through China and the USSR because they were communist countries. They were looking for a new leader, and they knew of this man named Kim Il-sung. So they were considering him, but the problem was that this Kim Il-sung person was not a communist. So they had to find somebody else. So the next person that they wanted was a man named Kim Song-ju. Kim Song-ju was a man that was of Korean descent, but he ended up spending time in the Chinese military, and he had military experience. So he was a viable candidate to take the job in North Korea, and he was a very patriotic man and had a vision for the future of his country. And so they ended up selecting him to be the first leader of North Korea. Now, they, instead of calling him Kim Song-ju, like people didn't know who he was, they ended up renaming him to Kim Il-sung. Remember, this is times before internet, and not everybody knows everybody's face and stuff like this. So basically at this time they could get away with doing something like this. And so the time comes, the inauguration, whatever you want to call it, to say that this is our new leader, and Kim Il-sung, everybody, here he is, not the real one, the fake one, the imposter, Kim Song-ju. And yeah, he's introduced to the North Korean people, and some people at the ceremony were actually aware that that was not the real Kim Il-sung, but they didn't speak up, obviously because of their own safety, and they decided not to pursue it, I guess. And so many North Koreans that weren't down for him or down for communism fled to the south. And this is how the cult of personality in North Korea started. Like I mentioned, because of the name Kim Il-sung, the weight that it carried, the national pride that comes with this person's name, how patriotic he was fighting for the Korean people. This is how the cult of personality starts, growing and growing and growing and growing. And so we know about Kim Jong-un. Kim Jong-un, his grandfather is Kim Il-sung, the new Kim Il-sung, right? And it is Kim Il-sung, Kim Jong-il, and Kim Jong-un. Kim Jong-il is the father of Kim Jong-un, so the son of Kim Il-sung. And so this is how the cult of personality starts to build in North Korea. The Kim family, they are saviors. They are, they're the chosen ones. They, when they play golf, they get holes in ones. They don't poo. They have magical powers, so on and so forth. And yeah, I just thought that this was an interesting video that I wanted to share with you guys. If you're curious about my sources, you're like, Asher, where are you getting all this information from? Like, this is crazy. You can check the link in the description of this video. There's a BBC interview that I watched recently. The man that's being interviewed is a professor at university in Seoul in South Korea. And the man, as of 2025, at the recording of this video, he's 105 years old, and he lived in North Korea during this time. and he was there to see Kim Il-sung or Kim Song-ju, and he knows the story, and he was sharing it with BBC News and sharing it with the world, and here I am sharing it with you as well. And on top of that, I am somebody that lived in Korea or in South Korea for a couple years, so I am familiar with Korean, um, I don't want to say Korean politics, but Korean history and, stuff related to the Korean people. So it is something that interests me, and I hope it interests you. And that's why you're watching this video, and that's why you clicked on it. So let me know if you're interested in more topics like this. I would love to share more interesting conversations that we could have. And yeah, please comment below what you think about this story. Subscribe for more content. This is Asher, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.